जी, अब स्पेन से हमारे स्कॉलर मकाला निगार एंटोनियो गुलेस मौजूद हैं। वो गुफ्तगू करेंगे और अपना मकाला पेश करेंगे।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm Antonio de Diego from Malaga University, Spain. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation to this International Iqbal conference. I'm so happy to stay here, and also I wish to acknowledge to the ambassador of Pakistan in Spain, Ambassador Sahur, and also to Dr. Abdul Rauf that invited me to be here. So thank you very much to be here. Um, I feel very honored to be today with you. For me, it's a great pleasure present the work that I have done the last 2 years about Muhammad Iqbal. For me, Iqbal is one of the greatest philosophers in the 20th century. In this way, I try to show in my classes here in Spain, and also for me it's a great honor speak in this forum. Today, I'm working in the first monography in Spanish language about the philosophy of Muhammad Iqbal. I started 2 years ago when, for the suggestion of my wife that have origins in the subcontinent, and also of my mother-in-law that she was studying deeply Muhammad Iqbal. So I start to work with Muhammad Iqbal. When I first I meet with the philosophy of Allama Iqbal in 2012 when I converted to Islam here in Spain, and I bought a couple of books. What impressed me very much. First one was the book was an anthology of political writings of Muhammad Iqbal in Spanish, published by the publisher house Trota, and the second one was a French translation of Javid Namen. Was for me was an amazing book. At the first time, I saw how important was Iqbal and how can transform special for Muslims. I start from this point to reflect about Iqbal after I start to try to reading him in the different poetical works, but also philosophical, reading the letters and other books and publish it was amazing experience. Um, in 2026, in 2016, I delivered a lecture in the University of Complutense de Madrid about Mohammed Iqbal and the importance that he had for the contemporary thought. All people here in Spain are very focused in German or in French philosophy, but no one's see this outside from the Western philosophy. And it was a great opportunity to reflect about the themes that was very in connection between their own generation people. And if you see how important is Iqbal is in the same themes and issues that had, for example, Carl Gustav Jung, René Guénon, Maria Zambrano, Spanish philosopher, or Mario Rosso de Luna. They start to speak about the end of modernity and the end of Western philosophy to see something beyond. And especially in Iqbal, we have this point of cosmopolitanism. The key point of the monography that I'm finishing to writing, and Ambassador Sahur have the privilege to read in advance, is the idea to present Iqbal as a philosopher, a cosmopolitanism philosopher. And this is what's my idea. I try to show how the philosophy of Iqbal is very enrooted with all the great revival movements or revivalist movements in Islam that I studied for my PhD thesis, but also how is in constant dialogue also with traditions like subcontinent indigenous philosophy as the Sikh or the Hinduism philosophies, for example, are with and also with Western philosophy. As the ideas, the core ideas of this book that I'm finishing is the idea of the dialogues that have Iqbal in the imaginal world. That means he make a beautiful experience between poetry and philosophy. And poetry and philosophy is a new way to understand the knowledge. For me, for example, was especially interesting that Iqbal, for example, used more poetry as the classical Islam philosophers as prose and or essay. And this is very powerful idea. And why is powerful? Because offered to us the opportunity to explore symbols and archetypes that are not present in a rational discourse. And this is, for example, from Shikwa and Jawa Shikwa is one of the key elements to reflect. The second biggest point of this book is to reflect about the condition of the human being, the anthropology, between in deep dialogue with Ibn Arabi, because beyond the similitudes, they have difference, but the difference between Iqbal and Ibn Arabi suggests a great opportunity to rethink human being. The idea of Hudi, of the self, is powerful for a contemporary man that is looking for the sense in a world that is completely technified and completely dominated for a rational world. So we need to rethink this point. So this is the other point. And we have also a reflection that is a reflection of the human being that is completely free, as we saw, for example, in the end of the Javid Nameh, this final chapter of Javid Nameh, the final verses, offers to a new human being that is more close than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but have this freedom to face the reality and to transform the things. And this is the point that I call following different authors is I call metapolitics. Is a metapolitics that offer us the opportunity to rethink a very problematic issue, that we find this problem, because normally we saw politics as the eyes of the Western ideologies. You have the right wing or left wing, but in Iqbal there is a substantial critique to the Western ideologies, and to go beyond with more powerful experience. So you have seen, for example, how is the looking for the spiritual freedom in the experience of the Hudi, but also a new politics that's enrooted with the heart. And this is the one I vindicate one of the forgotten elements that is completely forgotten for many historians, that is Iqbal is not only an revolutionary character. He's a spiritual leader that offers and go beyond, because have the opportunity to mix these metaphysics that have the metaphysics, the deen, and a new kind of politics. a new kind of politics that is balance between Sharia or Hakika. And this is, for me, is interesting. And this point of metapolitics give me the last argument of my future book, that is the idea of, is possible that we find in this moment of climate crisis that Iqbal gives answers? Of course, he offers the opportunity to give us a new way to thinking this the climate crisis from his own poetry but own philosophy. So I think this is the main idea. I'm very grateful for the I thanks to the Iqbal Academy. For me, it's an honor to be here, and I hope that to have the book next year and inshallah present to all of you. Thank you for the support and thank you very much.